Lexington Steele live, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Lexington Steele live show here on July 13th, 2015. Allison Moore is in the house.
I am here. It is a Monday, so I am here.
You know, Allison, you're so radiant today. I love your skin. You're glowing, as people can probably see.
Oh my God, hopefully I'm not pregnant.
Oh, no. I have to leave that up to you and your husband to discuss.
Hell no. There is no more babies coming out of that factory.
You sure about that?
It is closed.
Well, you have a boy, a girl, you have two kids, right?
Yes, it's a house full.
You got the bases covered.
Yes.
Okay.
It's total house full.
Well, that orange is definitely looking very good on you.
Thank you.
And
I put makeup on, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't do my hair, but I was like, at least I got makeup on.
Well, did you see any of your fans come, at your party last week? How'd that go?
That was good. It went really good. A whole bunch of my friends from the salon that I work with were there, and then a whole bunch of my industry friends were there. I had a friend basically make me a penis going in a vagina cake, and I had penis cupcakes. It was hilarious. I was like, oh my God, this is the best birthday cake ever.
So how does a guy eat a penis cupcake?
I don't think any of the guys ate the penis cupcakes. I think they just went for the slices of the thigh.
Yeah. Now.
Because I had cupcakes and a cake.
Well, you had a what cake?
I had cupcakes and a cake.
Okay. So should the guy feel guilty if he does eat a penis cupcake?
You know what? The friend of mine that got me the cake, he took off the penis and ate the cupcake. I mean, it was just like fondant. So it was. I took a bite of the penis. So.
The people have those those lollipops that are shaped.
Yeah.
And they have pussy ones, they have penis ones, and sometimes all there's available is a penis one. You got to make that decision as a guy. And a lot of times I say, look, you know what? I'll pass on them.
Yeah.
But
it was pretty funny. Yeah, it was like all the cupcakes were like, there was like 2 white guy penis cupcakes, and all the rest were like black. And then the vagina cake with the cock, it was like basically a big black cock, and I was like, what are you trying to do? He's like, I'm just giving you what you like.
Well, everybody likes chocolate. I mean,
everybody likes chocolate.
And
well, and it was kind of actually better because it was chocolate versus whatever the white flavor one would be. I don't know, probably
devil's food cake. Or,
it was all under
Angel.
It was all fondant, the frosting stuff. So, but the cake underneath was chocolate, which is my favorite. But the thing is it was just so funny. He's like, I just know you like black cock. I'm like, oh, you're so sweet and kind.
Well, today we are anxiously awaiting the arrival of Naomi Banks.
I know, she's on the way.
It's on the way. LA traffic. So people, please look forward to seeing Naomi in here shortly. We can be reached live at 818-570-5085 as we are entering our 78th edition of the Lexington Steele Live Show here on LATalkRadio.com video channel. Now, before we get into our guest, when she does arrive, we had a few things that happened over the weekend I want to get out there. Serena Williams did take the women's single at Wimbledon in England, and she continues on either what they call the Serena Slam, which would be winning all the major tennis events in a calendar year.
Didn't she win a bunch at the Olympics, or is that just me?
Well, no, in the Olympics, she probably was certainly enough singles and then doubles, because her and her sister, Venus Williams, are perennial doubles champions. Yeah. But what has made the news in regards to Serena is the fact that, given her dominance of the sport, we're seeing 2 things happening. We're seeing two female athletes are now regarded as the greatest athletes on the earth. Based on the dominance they have within their disciplines. We have Ronda Rousey of UFC, mixed martial arts.
She's crazy.
Who's literally impossible to beat.
Did you see that fight where it was
the last one?
The one that was only like 10 seconds?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. And then literally 10 seconds after that, I was like, wow, this bar cleared out really fast.
Yep. So it was like her, and then they're saying that Serena is equally as dominant as Ronda Rousey, both of which are being considered the greatest athletes in the world. So it's an interesting time, people, where you have 2 women who are labeled the world's greatest athlete, and it's not the world's greatest female athlete,
or not the world's greatest UFC or
the greatest
MFC,
fighter on the earth. is a female, is Ronda
Yes.
Rousey. The greatest athlete on the earth now, they're saying, is Serena Williams.
Yeah.
And now this is what begs the question. We see the way that Serena is very athletically built, and she's tall as well. A lot of people are saying now that she can't be beaten on the courts. A lot of people are trying to attack her physique, in that perhaps she's too physically, imposing to be competing against other women. And it's crazy. The first 17 titles that she has won, I think she has 21 slams, which is
Nice.
Proverbial term for a big tournament win. 21 in 17 years, she has 21 slams.
Nice.
And the 21 slams equals the amount of slams by the total of the rest of the girls in that 17-year span. So Serena has 21 over the last 17 years, and the rest of the field has been spread over 21 different girls.
That's
so
crazy.
one woman has the title equivalent of
everyone else.
of everyone else over the last 17 years, and all they have to pick on her now is because she's a little bit more physically, she's bigger. She's she's not a small woman.
Yeah, but she's still a woman.
She's still a woman, and
So
let me tell you
she
something.
still can compete against other women. So
And-
it's
yep.
like I don't see how is that not fair. I mean, I just
They're calling it body shaming.
yeah, that's
Body
definitely what it
shaming.
is.
You know what I'm saying? Now, and she's 33, and
and she's got her game.
and she's
Definitely.
And at 33, she's physically, she's at the height of her powers as
Yeah,
a woman.
pretty much.
The only thing now that can make her stronger, I would suppose, if she was to have a child, and then even her body would become even more physically stronger. Did you find that when you had your first child that your physical strength that you gained was it permanent?
It's just funny because it's like you get like mother's shoulder where it's like you get like knots in your shoulders, but at the same time it's like your arms get so strong because you're constantly carrying a baby and whatnot, and it's just crazy because it's like you get like if there's like an adrenaline rush like with your kid and something that like you normally couldn't pick up or something to out of the way, it's like, oh my god, you all of a sudden you're like super strength. It's
so
crazy.
it is true.
So it's true. Yeah. I think it's kind of like not maternal, not genetics, just something that
It's
like
physiological.
yeah, that's like
protection.
it's for protection of your child, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely different. Your body definitely does change after you have a child. So
Well, I would definitely like to help Serena along with, if she does have any interest in beginning a family.
you're like, I am available.
I'm available, well practiced,
Well practiced.
disciplined, and
So if you know anybody that knows her or if she's watching out there.
you get that word out to Serena, I will definitely hook you right on up.
Absolutely. You'll take care of her.
Oh my God, let me tell you something. I saw her in person one time, and I was like, it's kind of one of those things where you're like, wow, like if there's certain people you see and there's like
You're
a real
kind
life.
of starstruck.
Well, oh my God, yeah, she literally is like a real life superhero. Like Ronda Rousey is athletic, but she's not necessarily tall, or she's not necessarily huge.
Pretty either.
Like, well, Serena is like literally you want to put a cape on her because you see her like, man, that woman should be flying around with a cape. And then plus, if you watch, she beat Maria Sharapova. You familiar with that? A super hot tennis player, regarded as super hot. She made 21 million in endorsements.
Wow.
Where to Serena's 11 million in endorsements from this last year. So she's got great looks. Her game isn't quite as good as her looks.
Right.
21 million endorsements versus 11 million for Serena. But it's just the notion that when they're playing, Sharapova has a scream when she strikes the ball, a very high scream, almost sexual.
Nice.
So it's like Serena with this high scream, and Sharapova with a high scream, and Serena with a deep, almost a guttural, groan on her strokes. It was almost like watching a porno.
You're like, oh, okay.
It's like, ooh, ah, ooh. It was like, ah, ooh, I'm like, I don't know which one I want, depending on what kind of moods you're in,
Yeah.
You know,
You're like, huh?
So
This could be interesting.
I don't want to sexualize or trivialize the efforts and exploits of Miss Serena Williams. Congratulations for another win at Wimbledon, and we look forward to continue supporting you in all that you do. And I like the fact that the tennis world has finally acknowledged the fact that Serena is without parallel. Very nice to know. Now, let me ask you this. There's been a case, right? You're familiar with the Cosby situation.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Okay, so it seems that Camille Cosby, Bill Cosby's wife of decades, I mean, they've been married, I think, probably close to 50 years at this point, or 40 plus years. She's coming out to his defense by saying that the accusers consented to the drugs and the sex. Now, on my other show, which is Man Cave Live on Thursday, we talked about this and about the fact that Quaaludes was the drug of choice in this situation.
Yes.
But
I don't even think you can get those anymore.
They're very difficult. I wouldn't know.
You're like, I would know. You're like, I don't need that. I got my own game.
No, fuck that. I mean, believe me, I definitely, I'm in love with the cocoa. No, you didn't hear that from me. But it's just the notion that she believes that the women consented to the drugs and sex. And one thing I brought up on Man Cave was the fact that there are certain drugs that are certainly of date rape drugs, right? Roofies, Rufinol.
Yeah, considered pretty much like, why would you take it?
Yeah,
otherwise.
Exactly. But in this case, people are forgetting, a lot of people, in that era, people took Quaaludes in particular had been a drug that was taken jointly by people.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I'm on it and she's not, or she's on it and I'm not. It was something that both, like, it's like Molly's today or ecstasy.
People would take it together. Right, and do their experiences.
And it's not fun. Quite honestly, it's not fun if only one of you and people.
Who wants to hang out with someone on ecstasy? But and that one person, you're like, okay.
Do you want to be the only person not on it? Right?
Yeah. Well, did he end up saying that he was on Quaaludes too?
Well, he has not admitted to that, but the wife, Camille Cosby, believes the women involved with the fallen comedic star had consented to drugs and sex. Now, maybe they didn't consent to the sex. Maybe they consented to the drugs. Which undoubtedly leads to sex. Some would say maybe not consensual.
What's all going on with that? Is there like court going on, or is there just like all these accusations still?
I don't know, but
I don't know.
Well, he stepped in shit like 2 weeks ago.
I remember he said,
deposition.
He like admitted to
under oath
giving women Quaaludes. Well,
no, he admitted to buying drugs to use with women to have sex. The lawyer, and this is in a deposition, the lawyer then asked them, have you went forward in using those drugs to give the women? And Cosby's lawyer instructed him to not answer that question.
Right.
But this is all public record. So it's like, well, you bought these drugs to use for sex, and you mean to tell me that you didn't? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you go out, you know.
buy a whole bunch of, roofies and ecstasy and Molly. I don't know what the kids use these days, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like,
you go to the CVS or the to the Walgreens, what have you. You buy yourself a box of condoms. You're going to a swing party. You didn't buy those condoms to leave them in your pocket. You brought those to the swing party to use.
You might not.
But
or you're going to, something, and you brought a whole bunch of, booze, and you just don't drink the booze. Who doesn't drink the booze? I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? So, quote unquote, Camille still doesn't believe that Bill provided drugs and had sex with women without their consent. She's well aware of his cheating, but she doesn't believe that her husband is a rapist.
Well, who would want to believe that?
Yeah, and I've been a staunch supporter of Bill in what had seemed to be an attack on like a celebrity,
like to get money.
But man, I tell you, when the number of women that piled up, and you got at a certain point, let's admit it. At a certain point, all these women are not lying. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
it's kind of like.
But damn, like
unless it's like, oh, I'm gonna try to hop on that. But if there's actual proof that they were with him at a certain point, like, oh yeah, I worked on this set with him between this year and these days and it's like, well, I kind of have to believe it, you know.
So I don't know. We'll wait to see.
Who knows? I don't know.
And we don't want to condemn.
The thing is, it could be just all these women did consensual, and it could be that they're after money.
What's interesting is it's, at this date, it's so far after things have happened, the women aren't coming forward. You know, a lot of the women are actually well accomplished. I mean, have went on to become stars at whatever field they have been in. But it stays in the news. It's something that we hope, if it plays out in court, I can't lean towards exoneration for Bill.
I don't know what, it's so hard to tell what, is right.
Yeah, and even if he's exonerated, is there recovery for this?
Oh, probably not.
He's ruined.
Yeah, just like the Jared from Subway.
Oh, no,
was that a good segue, right?
Child pornography.
Yeah,
Did they find anything?
I don't know. They just a business partner of his was I guess under investigation and arrested, and then shortly after he is under investigation and arrested. So I'm pretty sure he can kiss goodbye all his Subway endorsements.
Yeah, there's no more commercials, but we have to see whether he's exonerated or not, because they did pull out so many things from his home.
Yeah.
Hard
drives.
We don't know if
you don't know, but the thing is just the fact that it was mentioned in the same sentence.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, and it will be followed because everybody is familiar with that guy, and no one wants to be or hear anything about child pornography. It's one of the ugliest things that can be brought. We have seen the arrival. Come on in, Naomi. Please come in. Naomi Banks has made it into the studio.
I haven't seen you in a long time. It was like getting drunk in Vegas with a party bus involved. It was pretty funny.
Uh-oh. What's up with that?
Kiara Mia was definitely drunk. There were some videos. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Wait, so you guys were on a party bus?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Where was I?
I don't know.
I told you about the party bus.
Things that happen in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Oh, well,
yeah,
shit.
that's why I said there were videos. I don't know what happened to him.
All right.
Definitely turning it up, having fun.
Yeah.
Well, people, this is Miss Naomi Banks. Thanks for joining us tonight in studio.
Like, thanks for having me. Oh, my God.
How are you?
I'm good. I got lost.
Yeah.
Seriously,
You're like driving around.
We made it in-house. Now Naomi actually runs a whole station, Chocolate Radio.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And 7 days a week?
7 days on broadcasting.
Broadcasting?
But live broadcasting, like 4 days a week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, Monday nights, you broadcast. Tell us about what you do. Actually, first, let's go. People, on Tuesday nights, I have a sports show called Fourth and Goal, and it is on Chocolate Radio, which is Naomi Banks' online video broadcasting platform. And I'm certainly enough honored to be hosting a show on there. That's where I host a sports talk show. You host a very popular show that airs even as we're airing Monday nights.
Yeah, you're my competition.
Well, I mean, it's a big, broad world out there. A lot of people online.
No, but yeah.
But you can watch our show.
Yeah,
after.
You go like 7 to 9.
Right, I go from 7 to 9. From 7 to 9 on Mondays. I used to be Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and I kind of cut it down cut down my days working on some other different things. Allison, stop looking at my boobs.
I'm sorry, they're so there.
But she's not the only one.
They're so cute and pretty. I want to snuggle. They look so snuggly.
Thank you. Don't they? They are though.
I mean, they're like pillows.
Yeah, they kind of have.
I just want to go to sleep in them. I always stare at the chicks' boobs that are in here.
Sex with chocolate.
Oh wow, yeah, sex and chocolate. But we're from 7 to 9. We talk about sex and relationships.
Right.
It's our core of our show, but we do get into some very serious topics where it does with racism.
Right.
Sexuality, like different stuff like that. So it's pretty good. And I just added on. Alexander DeVoe is now co-host with me. It's been 3 weeks now.
Okay.
So we got a little hiatus going on at Chocolate Radio, but we'll be back on August 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'll be back the Wednesday. Now, we have a number of calls in waiting. Now, do you want to get into calls now? Allison, want to take calls now?
You're the boss.
Yeah.
Well,
I like
before we
being
get
told
to these
what to do.
calls, I want to make sure people know. And then, so the live show is Monday night. And then tell us about the other programs that you host. a music show as well, correct?
Yes, the music show will also be coming back in August as well, and that's called Untapped.
Okay.
For Life in the Music, and that's where we do a whole show for independent artists to give them themselves a chance to get their music out there and played. So what we do is we do interviews. We have some Thursdays we do what we call Tap It or Leave It Untapped, meaning when the guys when they send their music in, we have the audience call in and say either tap it or leave it untapped, or tweet us and say tap it or leave it untapped. So untapped means throw it in the garbage, leave it untapped.
Right.
Tap it means to continue playing, and it goes into our playlist during the week between everyone's show.
See what I'm saying? If someone told me to tap it or untap it,
I'd be like,
I've been known to tap.
tap it.
You know,
I'd be like, can we vote? Tap it.
Get your mind out of the gutter, let's say, you know. Yo, let me tell you something. Before we got in there, we were speaking, we spoke briefly regarding Serena Williams.
Okay.
And also we spoke briefly about the Cosby situation with wife Camille Cosby offering her support, in her belief that Cosby has never actually, taken advantage of the women, that it's been a mutual consensual drug experience. I don't know. Because you did.
You want my opinion on that?
Well, yeah, because didn't you last week you held one of your shows was it on the Confederate flag or was it on Cosby?
It was on Black and White. We was on Black and White American. That's what it was. But this is the thing, is that we all know Cosby as being America's dad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
this
yeah.
is, this is what Americans dad.
Everyone.
Right. So when I first heard it, you know how you can get that that gut feeling, like you hope oh my God, I hope this
upset.
not right. I hope this is not true.
Yeah.
But all of these women can't be saying
That's
the same
what
thing.
we said.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
I think
everyone can't be saying the same thing. But
yeah, I was gonna say, like, with the whole Michael Jackson thing. I remember the first time that whole thing came out, a lot of people were like, "Are you real? Like, are you serious right now?" Like.
Well, Michael, though.
To me, I even still want to reject it.
I really believe that was a conspiracy with Michael Jackson.
I kind of feel like it was too.
I think it was too, because there's reasons for the powers that be to attempt to take him down, but with Cosby,
it was
different.
There's
so many, and I'm just like, but I'm still like, no, I don't know. I don't know.
The reasoning
I just
as
don't
to
know.
why would they do this to one man? But it's like we talked about, there's so many women. The stories are virtually detail specific with each woman, and a lot of the women are independently successful.
Right.
So it's not that they were ever really. It seems like they're not after money because they went on to be successful in whatever they did.
Right, exactly. So that's why it's like, so.
Like, why would Beverly Johnson, who has nothing to gain?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, why would she do that? I know I was reading a lot that it was a conspiracy. That was the whole thing, is a conspiracy because he was wanting to buy NBC. And
but that was years ago.
That was years ago. Yeah. Now come up again that he wanted to buy another network or go in bidding for another network. And then here this comes up again. But the thing is that he said that he was giving women Quaaludes to have sex with them.
In deposition, the lawyer asked him, he admitted to buying Quaaludes with the intention of giving to him for sex. The next question was, well, did you do so? And his lawyer instructed him to stop and not answer that question.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So does that leave enough on the table for us to are we coming to an assumption and or conclusion then?
That's why I was like, is it going to go to court because of that? Is that enough? Question mark. That's pretty open to me.
Then what we talked about briefly is the fact that certain recreational drugs are you do together, and in that generation you have, obviously cocaine was very large, still is, but very popular, and Quaaludes may have been something that people, just like ecstasy is today, people do that jointly. Pardon that pun, if you smoke joints, but it is just a notion that, like,
right over my head.
You know what I'm saying? Do I take a Quaalude and not give one to her,
or do I just take a Quaalude by myself, or do I just give her a whole bunch of Quaaludes and have have a nice day? I don't know.
Can you imagine?
Who does that?
But you know what? There was a football player, Darren Sharper, who recently, good-looking guy,
yes, very
all-star Pro Bowl football player.
He was going all over the world. He was going from state to state, drugging girls.
He had cases in 7 states at one point, and. So you do have men that are there. It is a notion that there are monsters, literally monsters among us, and they could be America's father. We never
Right.
know.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing is people, we look at him as Bill Cosby, as, you know, Cliff Huxtable. That is what we look at him
Right.
as,
Totally.
you know, Fat Albert. But we look at him that we forget that he is a human being.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do
You know,
with celebrities,
we do.
absolutely.
And I know, go back when you're talking about with Camille, you have to think about Camille is his wife and has been his wife for years.
Yeah.
You know, that's, you know, through
Thick and thin.
Yeah.
thick to better and worse, you know, for all of those things. And she's gonna stay by her man. Am I saying she right or wrong? You know, that's a fine line because she has to. She don't believe that she married a monster. I don't believe I married a monster. I know who I married. This is who he shows me. No, I would never believe that and think that he would do anything like that.
Okay, well, let me throw this into the pot. In this article that was released today, it turns out that they actually, over the course of their relationship, and people feel free to participate, 818-570-5085, they have periods in their relationship where they allow for each other to go outside the marriage.
Okay.
And that has been something they practiced, periods of polygamy where they could actually go out and do whatever they want. I guess is to keep the, you know, maybe they call it an evaluation period where they're looking to reevaluate the love for each other by not testing the waters, but just going out and experiencing different things and saying, hey, and remembering why I'm married to this man or why I'm married to this woman. And so she's been aware of those sexual exploits and perhaps she participated in her own. So she's like, why would he be doing this when our whole relationship, we've always had periods where we allow for each other
to be able to do that. You know, and I'm not a psychiatrist or anything like that, but maybe, you know, some people get off of that power thing. You understand what I'm saying? So if, you know, am I able to control them in a way that and I can get what I want from them?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, some people get off, not saying that is Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just so many big question marks, you know, behind it. But there's all the arrows are pointing at.
Yeah.
You did it. You know, I guess I look at it as me being a woman, me having sisters, me having daughters, that I wouldn't want them, if they said rape and no one believed them.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
exactly.
saying? Me as a woman, if I say someone raped me and because they are of this caliber, then you won't believe me. You know, and that's why I feel for those other ladies out there, is that for all these years, they've been claimed to have been called a wolf. But, you know, I guess when Beverly Johnson did come out, and I was like, this is a black woman, because everybody kept asking, well, where is the black woman? Why are there any black women that's saying anything?
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, the young lady that was, she was half black.
One of the accusers or
one of the accusers was, but they overlooked her. But when Beverly Johnson did it, you know, it's still it's to me it's settled as something like, okay, she doesn't have anything to lose.
Right,
So why would she say that?
Yeah, why would she? Yeah. That makes
And
sense.
what's interesting with Beverly's story is she said there was a moment where she realized it was setting in, and she says she looked at him. Is that when she turned around and walked out? But but you know, not for nothing, but as a black man and a black woman, when she described that moment, I knew exactly the look that she gave him, and I know what he felt when she looked at him like that, and that was telling, because when she went there, I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, especially because she said that and I was like, I know exactly how. Not that I've been in a position to have a woman look at me like that for any reason, but I am familiar when sisters look at a brother like that, and so I don't know. But we got plenty of calls. Let's take one of them right now.
Interested to see what the calls are about.
Hello, call. This is Lex Steele live with Nami Banks and Allison Moore. Talk to us.
Hi, Lex. Hi, Allison. Hi, Naomi. This is LJ, also known as Sweet Pea. How are you doing?
Hi,
Sweet
how are
pea.
you?
LJ.
How are you?
Good. Allison, hope you had a good birthday week last week.
Thank you. Last week I got a bunch of birthday calls. I'm still getting birthday calls.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3-1. Yay. Dinosaur and
And
porn
you got
now.
my gift, right?
Did you get LJ's gift?
I think so. Which one was your gift? Because I got a ton.
The stocking one?
Yes, I did. I have to wear those for you for a
Nice.
webcam or something. Definitely.
I love
Okay.
Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea, you get around, huh?
He gets around.
So
yeah.
you know this
Oh
caller?
yeah, I know Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea gets around, baby.
He does. He knows all the girls that do radio.
Yes,
Definitely.
he does, and I love because he supports every single one of us. That's a good thing. It is.
He gets all the
Anything
girls'
else?
birthday
Allison,
gifts. I got
Allison and Naomi, you're both looking great, I must
you.
say. Each and every day you both
God,
look
her
beautiful and
boobs are
sexy.
Thank you,
they look so
Allison. Get off of my boobs.
All right, LJ.
They're
you
like
got
pretty.
any questions for the ladies before we
Do you
let
know
you
what
go?
I'm saying?
Yeah, I know that they've both done parodies, porn parodies, but if they can pick one, pick a porn parody of a TV show that has not been done yet, what would they pick?
I don't even know. Seems like
That
everything's
hasn't
been done.
yet. What popular shows are okay? No. Imagine if they did a parody of either Empire or Power.
Nice.
And
Those
that's
are
got to
newer.
be coming up.
Yeah, those are
Someone's
nice.
someone's gonna copy or do a parody of either those two popular shows.
We're porn folks, girls, but guys, are you listening out there? All the black folks, you guys will be working soon. No.
Right?
You know,
I
but
mean-
no. You know what, LJ? I don't know. Check this out, LJ. Go online. Naomi actually played the Denzel Washington character
yeah, I
of
love that.
Training Day.
Yeah.
And tell us
Nice.
about that.
Oh, I love that. I actually, really, I was so serious on set, and Rob Black was the director, and he was the screenwriter too, for it. And we had a good time. But like when I was on set, I was just like in my total
Zone.
Like,
Yeah.
I was.
You were channeling
Yes,
that character.
I will, and I loved every bit of it. I did. It was almost the same. Everything was almost just the same. We had some of the same.
Except we had
words.
sex.
Yeah,
Not
well,
you and I, but
yeah,
you had sex.
Yeah, we had sex. But actually, the parts where we had sex in, it was meant to be. You understand what I'm saying?
And it's so funny because it's like, you watch movies and whatnot, and you're like, okay, that's where the sex scene would go in the parody.
Yes,
Wow.
exactly. But it was great. We had the car. We had the car.
the El
same.
Camino. or
Yes,
whatever-
the black car. It was
Nice.
just the exact same, car.
God, that movie was so
I
good.
mean, everything was it was fun. With
Same ending too.
the gun.
Yo, let me tell you
Yes.
something.
Oh my God.
No, not for nothing, but I can't even frong-a-tell you. When I saw that you did that, I was like, man, because I was like, somebody's got to do this at some point. And then when I saw, I was like, well, and then because it wasn't, in adult, luckily there's no problem interchanging, women for the male roles,
Right.
Because Misty Stone played the Will Smith character in the Men in Black,
Yeah.
the Men in Black parody,
And then the Bonnie Rotten did the Sisters of Anarchy.
and she
instead of-
played.
and they did the whole, basically the opposite, and I like that.
And you were Khloe Kardashian.
Yeah,
and-
well,
and,
that's
you
still
know.
a girl, but that's okay.
You're right. Something
You
makes
never
sense.
know with that family, so.
Has the A-Team been done yet? Like they could do like A for anal, I was wondering if they can do
They
that.
that one because 18 goes back.
Way back.
So it's been around for a while. I'm sure they've
I
done.
think they've done that.
Yeah.
Remake time?
They could remake the new one. All right, Cole. Thanks very much, LJ.
Thank you.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
Sweet
Have a
Pea.
great evening.
All right.
Keep it sexy, baby.
So we're gonna run right into another call. That was a good call because those movies. That was a great movie though. Restraining Day, was it? Or what was the name of the?
It was Training Day.
It
It
was
was Training Day Triple X.
Training Day Triple X. Okay.
Training Day Triple X.
Okay. So caller, this is Alexa Live Show. Talk to us.
Hey, what's up, Lex? I had to call because this is Reggie.
Big
I
Reg.
had to support the gorgeous and beautiful and intelligent Naomi Banks.
Oh
She
yeah.
was
Thank you,
looking
Reggie.
so amazing.
Thank
And
you.
of course, Allison Moore, you're just always awesome and looking so hot as well.
you.
So what's up, Reg? What you got for the
Right.
ladies?
Oh yeah, definitely. I want to comment on that Train Day. Naomi Banks definitely was so dope in that movie, and she definitely stepped her game up. It was definitely felt like a Denzel Washington movie, and she was hot, of course, in it. So
doubt.
it's pretty cool.
Thank you. Thank you. This is another one that gets around Reggie
So,
too.
so happy.
Yeah. No, but
Yeah,
I
I
love
do.
me
I
some
do.
Reggie though. Yeah, he does. He's very supportive of all of us. From where we were
Yeah.
over there at Playboy, he was very supportive with all of us. But thank you, Reg.
Oh, you're welcome. I was wondering if you've done any shoots or stuff, because I know you've been working. I've been seeing you posting stuff from like modeling shoots and stuff and looking all sexy.
Yes, top secret.
Yeah.
I'm excited. To
Wait.
see
Are we
it.
hearing inklings of the return of Miss Banks to the Triple X format in front of the camera again? No. Oh, let me tell you
so
something.
what's going on? Are you directing? What's
Yeah,
going on?
because literally, we're always asked by fans if we know people personally, and a lot of people always say, "What's up with them? Is she ever coming back?" And I don't know what to tell them. I always say, "No, she's been out for a while. I don't think she's coming back." And so it's good to know that people still,
Right, yeah. I'm not
It's
gonna
good
lie. I
to
do
know
miss
that
it.
you have fans.
Right,
Yeah.
I
Still.
do. I miss it, and it's been times that I thought about coming back because I feel like I didn't go out the way that I wanted to go,
Okay.
to go out. But for some reason, I just think my time has passed.
But you're still look good.
Yeah, the thing about it is when you retired, when you stopped doing movies, you stopped at the apex. So of your game. So everybody, the good thing is people still remember you as the iconic Nami Banks.
Top of the game.
Exactly. And then what happens is you transition to become, the longer you're out, then you become legendary. So you're at the point where you're considered the legendary Nami Banks. Now, if you come back, I mean, it could be believe me, it'll be a whole nother wave because Ryan Connor came back and the industry received
She's
her
doing
and the viewership received her
great.
so well. And you have the same impact where people are like, she's back. And then people that are new are going to be like, hey, there's this woman, Naomi Banks. And like, yo, you didn't know about Naomi?
Where
Son.
you been?
Yeah, let me sit you down for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Let's have a little conversation where I give you
teach
you a lesson.
Now, before we get any further, though, Nami, I think that this is a perfect time, and Rez, you probably already know some of this, but Nami, tell people, you do so much other than your Triple X. I mean, you are a mainstream movie producer.
Yes.
Tell us about, Nami's had movies that actually have played in film festivals throughout the world. Tell us about even your latest mainstream movie that you wrote, produced, and directed that has played. Didn't you have something in a recent film festival?
Right, we had Caught in the Game.
Caught in the Game.
Caught in the Game that actually won 3 awards in 3 different film festivals.
No doubt.
Nice.
For best film, best writer, best director. So I guess 6. I'm sorry, 6 if you include
All
Yep.
those,
director. Yeah. So it's 6 altogether. Right now we are working on some more projects right now as we speak. And then the movie that you're talking about that I wrote, directed, and produced, it was a horror film called Souls.
Okay.
So we're now
Right.
in post-production for that one. We got a lot of stuff going on
That's awesome.
with that. So I try to stay busy. I try
Nice.
to, keep busy with things. And, I'm just trying to build my little empire,
doubt.
Nothing wrong with that.
You're doing
No,
it.
girl.
You're doing
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's good to know. I mean, look, your boy Lex Steele has been a member of the Screen Actors Guild since 2008. So if there's ever any dialogue roles that you have that I might be able to let me know.
I thought we talked. We have a script for you.
Definitely let me know because
Yeah.
I love it. And, it's tough. I mean, I would love to do it, because I like to do dialogue stuff, and there's not that many roles for brothers in the industry. So, I'd love to get involved in what but it's very important to know that you're doing those other things too. Souls. Is that it's a horror movie,
It's
huh?
a horror movie.
I kind of like,
Yes,
I like
it's-
that.
I want to play a vampire.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I want to do a black vampire.
Ooh, so sexy.
like Blade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
I think
God,
it's
my
one of
first
those-
husband was obsessed with
Yeah.
those movies, and when I divorced him, I'm like, I'm taking your Blade
Yeah,
DVDs.
the third one kind of wasn't as good as the first two.
No,
but
they
the
were
Yeah,
first
good.
two
Yeah,
was-
the first one.
Good.
Has,
can
has
see
there
that.
ever been? Yeah, exactly right. Has there
Yeah,
ever
I
been
can
a
see you
porno
play
Blade?
that. No, I don't
Is
think
there
so.
a porn parody for that?
I don't think so.
No,
There
I don't
needs
think
Probably
to.
not.
You
Yeah,
know
that'd
what?
be
I'd
cool.
even put on the Blade afro.
There you go.
I see
Would
that.
you,
it.
Reg, if I put on the, give me a high top fade, bring back my box?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I don't know if I can bring. I'd have to get
You'd
one.
have to get a wig. I don't know if you can
I
grow
have to
that
go down
out.
to Hollywood Boulevard and go to those prop stores and get me the afro, and then have it cut. You can buy the afro,
Right.
And then you could have a barber cut it into the
Exactly.
the shape.
Yeah.
Into what
you
it
know.
needs to be.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Dude, do that.
I
Do
would.
it.
I produce Gonzo. I
Do
you know,
it.
I haven't produced the features.
Just
but
talk to Axel. Axel will do it. He'd be like, oh, yeah, it's a good idea.
I don't want to. No. You know what? I got to do Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I played Darth Vader. In the,
Okay.
in
I
the
love
first
that you
one.
play Darth Vader.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
What's
That's
your
like-
Darth Vader voice? What?
No, it was crazy. You know what we did? There was a big pot, and I had to stick my head in a pot, right? And then with my eyes above the pot, like literally like this, and I would do my lines speaking into the pot.
Oh,
So
okay.
So it's all voiceover.
Yeah, no. Well, yes, because you can't. I had the helmet on the whole
Right,
time.
so you can't even hear you. Yeah.
So the
Sounds
voice, how we achieved the voice was me speaking into a pot, and the reverberance of it gave it that Darth Vader sound.
Oh, okay.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
it was cool because the mic, they held the mic right to the pot, and I was like,
Right.
Luke, I am, and it was like, so next movie now
behind the scenes.
there it is there So Reggie, anything else for now before we let you go?
Oh yeah, I just appreciate all that she does. I like that she's becoming this mogul basically, and just definitely getting into all like diversifying herself, and I think that's awesome that you're doing it. And just keep up the extraordinary work in that, and like I said, it's amazing.
So now Reggie, you're familiar with so Reggie, she hits you up on Chocolate Radio, huh?
Yes.
Okay. So now
Yes.
people
I love her shows.
Now you've been hosting your own shows. You've been a broadcaster beyond your establishment of Chocolate Radio. Tell us, how far back have you been hosting shows? Because many people are familiar or may not be familiar that your years as a broadcaster, you're like 7-8 years as a broadcaster at this point?
Yeah.
Between Playboy or before?
Yeah, so it's like a hiatus, but I was like with Playboy for 4 years.
4 years.
4 years, and then before there, I took like a nice little hiatus, but I was on a nice little radio station in Chicago.
Oh, no doubt.
But then I had like something here when I first moved here and I first got into the industry. I had a little something with Primetime Uncensored. Primetime Uncensored with them.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've been in the broadcasting for quite some time.
No doubt.
Yeah, and I love it. I love it. This is what I call my retirement plan is, radio.
This
I
is what,
love
yeah,
it,
yeah. And
You love radio.
I love doing this, and the thing about it is, I do like the fact that the platform you created and established for yourself and others, because I mean, here at LA Talk Radio, it's a wonderful thing, but what you've done with Chocolate Radio is not only do you have a platform for your own broadcast, but you've created a platform for a number of other people to begin their broadcasting careers and continue to do so. So that's that's one thing we want to make sure people know, Reggie included, is that we've got to support these these ladies and these entrepreneurs out here that because we're more than just Triple X. I mean, it's people enjoy our adult media,
Right.
Yep.
but we are media personalities.
Right. And that's one thing that I really would wish that a lot more of the talent, both men and women, will take that and say, we do need a retirement plan, so we do use our personalities to do something else versus be radio or something else that they can continue with their fans, their fan base, and their audience that they can keep on making money with. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Right.
Instead of just making.
And then it's not so cut and dry because it's like I've seen people that retire and they're like, I kind of miss it, and they either come back or they miss their fans or whatever, or like at least still keep on webcam or whatever. And it's kind of a nice thing, doing the radio, because it's like I'm kind of on my way ending my career, which is kind of nice because I'm almost done with my school, and it's like I love being able to come here with Lex, and I'm like, yeah, this is great. I get to see all the people in the business, and it's like I can kind of like slowly.
And they can see you.
They can see me. I get to talk to my fans all the time, so it's like you're absolutely right with that.
Yeah, I just wish they just take that initiative and say, okay, I'm building a brand. It really it is, because we only could fuck for so much on the camera. You understand where our bodies start to really
naturally change. Yeah, no doubt.
I love her
because you're naked on and that's the thing is like, even though I left up here, I want to stay there. I don't want to come back and I'm real sluggish. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I've been out for 2 years, almost 3 years. Sister put on some weight.
That's not a bad thing.
No, I was saying you look good.
Like, I don't know. That's not in no way a bad thing.
Well, looking good and working with it is two different things.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, it is.
No, I tell you, and
Oh my God.
And as they say, Father Time is undefeated.
No,
I mean,
you're absolutely right on that one.
Shoot, I eat my Wheaties every day.
Right, so now I'll be a pillow woman. What'd you call the ladies, the young ladies that lay there and just go,
Oh, no, you don't want to be a pin cushion. But you would never be like, because you know what? No, Naomi, the thing about it is.
I like being a pin cushion at home.
Here's the thing. In terms of a performer, even if you were to ratchet down your performance by a number of degrees, you would still be more, more assertive than a lot of women are.
True.
So I can see you being a pincushion, so to speak. There's a maturity level, and that would disallow you, that wouldn't let you be a pincushion because you know
then
this
my
business
body
too
and
well.
my legs be like, bitch, get up.
Well, here's another thing: is it's like I know when it's like you're a seasoned performer and you're working with like a brand new like less than 10 scenes performer, it is so frustrating.
Yeah, as a woman, because the guy doesn't know what he's doing or what.
Well, it's mainly with girl scenes, and it's like their second girl scene, and you're like, oh my god.
Are you patient with them, Allison?
What? Yeah.
That meant hell no. But like, bitch, somebody should have taught you something.
I'm like, let me
Wasting
tell
my
you how to
time.
douche properly. And at first, when after my first year or two, like, I wouldn't say anything to them. But now that it's like 5 years in, I'm like, okay, you know what? No one else is going to do it, so I better fucking do it.
Yeah.
I better step up and be like, okay, this is what you need to do. Do you have Dr. Riggs' number yet? No, this is what you need.
Reggie, thanks very much,
Just
bro.
in case.
Oh, no problem. And like I said, both shows are just awesome and funny and entertaining and informative. And yeah, it's always good to hear like the behind the scenes ones. That's what you guys actually have to deal with.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Well, it's fun.
No doubt.
Thank
But
you.
I know you have time of your life doing it.
Yes.
It's amazing. But have a good night, everybody.
All right.
All right,
thank you,
Reggie, I'll talk to you next week, bro.
All right, bye.
All right, cool. Now the thing, ladies, do you find that you do have to instruct the younger talent? Is younger talent being given any instructions as to how to do this?
I feel like they're
Or are they just being thrown to the wolves? You find young ladies are being thrown to the wolves.
maybe more so now than before.
Okay, well then is it possible that, I'm just throwing this out there, should the age limit be elevated from 18 perhaps to 21?
I do. I've always spoke about that. 21, yeah.
I definitely agree. I just don't think you're mature enough to make those decisions at 18. I mean,
No.
you can't even legally drink at 18.
Right,
like, how are you able to make decisions, that it's going to affect the rest of your life?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but 21-year-olds, they look just as, cute and teeny tiny as 18-year-olds.
They do.
So I don't see the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
Now, one could argue that if you enter the military at age 18, before the age, say if you enter the Navy at 18, by the time you're certainly well before 21, you could have your hands on the steering wheel of $1 billion submarine.
Yeah, that's true.
And that same individual
But
may
the
not be
thing
able to
is,
drink a
that's
beer.
the government's choice.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? And here's another thing that comes back to is people didn't live very long when that whole rule came out.
About under 21.
Yeah,
Or
or
21 to drink.
Well, no,
Or
it's
18
like 18 to get into the military.
Right.
Like, what was like the average
Oh, the lifespan
like
expectancy.
45?
Okay,
you know,
right.
maybe that should be raised.
Because at 18,
At 18,
back
I don't
when,
think
in that day, you were only living to
45.
If you lived to 48, you were
you're
like
an old man. Right. Exactly.
You're right.
But I don't know. I guess because so many things is happening here in the world today is that I don't feel that, especially when it comes to young adults, that the lifespan is long. I believe that it's shorter because you have kids that are dying at the young age of 16, 17, 18,
I know.
19, 20
Exactly.
years
So
old.
it's like now you
Yeah.
have the car accidents and the drug
Yeah.
over. It's
Okay.
you give or
Yeah.
take. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Now, is this something that should be looked into or pushed? Because a lot of people will say that the industry is driven by new talent, and new talent generally equates to younger and younger talent.
It's so funny because it's like MILF is one of the, top selling genres, and they're all older women, and I know in porn, pretty much MILF starts at 25, but
Right?
you notice
It
that
got
the
lower.
top performers are in their late 20s to early 30s, the
Right.
top MILF performers. So
No, the top performers, period,
and
are
top
MILFs
performer
also.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's so funny because it's like when this last year I was nominated with a half a dozen girls for MILF Performer of the Year for AVN, and it's like I looked at them all and I go, you know what? Every single woman on here is over 30. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like every single woman that was in for Performer of the Year was over 20. So it's like doesn't have to be necessarily 18
years old.
18-year-old.
I guess that would be my question. When was the last time that it was someone that was under 21 that was nominated for
performer,
female performer
of the
versus
year.
starlet?
Starlet different. Yeah, I'm talking.
Usually the girls are like
18, 19, 20.
20,
Yeah.
Right, but no, for Performer of the Year.
Performer of the year. I don't
the
think
youngest. I can't even remember. Maybe Tori Black might have been the youngest.
At 20, but
when
like
she
that's.
won. She went back 2 years in a row. How old was it when she won?
I want to say at least 1 year she was 20.
Remember, she was very mature for her age. Though.
Tori?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, she's like married, kids, and like
Mind freak.
still under
Mind freak.
30 and got her
Yeah.
shit
Got 2
together.
kids. Yeah,
you
got
know.
2 kids. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she was very mature for her age. Even when she first got into the industry, she knew exactly what
she
it was
wanted
to do. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Now, before you stopped, you put out a signature title, which was named when you did. It was all you. There are different fantasy scenes of yours.
Because I did a few. Naomi,
The one for Elegant was it with
Hardcore.
LT? That wasn't it.
Hardcore. Naomi Banks, Hardcore.
Okay.
And you got to choose your male talent.
Yeah, all of them but one. Yes.
Oh, okay. So who was in it? Tell me.
There was LT, Mr. Marcus. Oh my God.
Mind blank.
No.
Prince was.
No, Prince wasn't in it.
Nat Turner.
And Antonio Banderas.
Okay, Marco.
Yeah, Marco Banderas. That's Antonio Marco.
yeah, Antonio Banderas.
Marco Banderas.
He'd be in my pick
Oh
too.
my God. Oh shit. Andretti.
Not Mario and
Lex Steele?
No. Mike.
Adriano.
Adriano.
There we go.
Look, see, it's been that long.
You said Andretti.
And then I did my one and only gangbang.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Nice.
that was pretty. It was cool. I was afraid in the beginning because I didn't know exactly how I was gonna go.
I did that. I like that nervousness before scenes, though. I don't know. I mean, do you like that nervousness before scenes? Working with like a new performer that like you're kind of like, oh, I'm so excited to.
But it wasn't
work
necessarily
with this
new. It was
but
just
then
a
it's
group.
like,
No, it was just a group. Of
yeah,
guys.
but like my first
5 or 6
it was
dudes.
5.
when I did my first gangbang, I worked with every single one but one. So it's like,
See, I only worked with one.
so 4 of them you hadn't worked with before.
4 of them I've never worked with.
Oh, wow, that's really
never,
nerve-wracking.
I've never worked with. So I was able to pick everybody, but one because I wanted Lex in that movie, and then we had a discrepancy with the company in because we were going over the budget.
No. LT. No.
There was a budget issue.
No, sweetheart, I would have worked for you for nothing because all you've done for me. Naomi has been with Mercenary Pictures, my company, Mercenary Assassins in 2003. Naomi has you have about 9 or 10 Mercenary Picture covers. So you've been a big part of my company, Mercenary Pictures, from its inception. I mean, you've had the cover of practically every one of my lines at Mercenary. So I would have worked for you just for nothing because of what you've done for me. But LT, motherfucker, never called me, and I knew you guys were shooting, and I'm like, "Yo, what's up, son?"
Yeah.
You didn't call me.
Motherfucker would look
out.
at me square in the face, like he didn't know that that you guys were shooting at, and I knew. I'm like,
I say that to directors all the time. I was like, you shot a redhead movie and you didn't ask
And
me.
you
They're
did-
like,
yeah.
Well, your anal rate's really high. Well, yeah, I've known you for how many years?
Yeah, this
could have worked something
Hit the
out.
motherfucker up. I'd have been like, for now, but yo, where did that?
I'm like,
I'll be there like 10 minutes. I wouldn't even. I would have been early.
I would have been early.
Because for that one, I really wanted to be hardcore, and I really wanted the guys that I know that's my favorite. So how can I have my favorite?
And like those solid performers that you like to work with. There's nothing
Now,
wrong
that
with
was your first anal, or
that
tell
was
us about that.
That was my first and only DP too.
Okay. Oh.
And
Damn,
actually
girl.
for that one was what I had wanted you and Marcus for that one.
Okay.
Because Marcus was my very first,
Scene.
In 2005.
Yeah, and he introduced me to Lex. So I just thought that was like.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
So
Mike
who
Adriano was
the
my
DP?
very first scene.
Well, he was good too, huh?
Who was in the DP? Who were the guys from the DP?
Marcus and Marco.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That
Marcus
was
and Marco. Yeah.
So, in terms of your brand of XXX, do you have any plans of directing? XXX, not necessarily performing it, but what about your direction?
I've been sitting because I do miss the industry, and I wanted to do, I guess, my version of porn with sexy but hardcore. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to do that, and I didn't get the chance to do it. Especially a lot of the ladies that I had wanted to work with, they're now gone. They're now retired. Honestly, a lot of the new girls, I don't know, you know.
From a bar of soap.
Right, exactly. And so I would need those girls to be, you know, to be sexy but harder. And some of the girls that I look like, they look too young for me. You understand what I'm saying? So I would like it more, a more mature, one of those sexy, you know, a woman, you know, and I don't know. That's why I'm on the fence with a lot of things, because I see things that I want to do, and I'm like,
Okay, well, question. And as we prepare to get out of here this evening, before we go, you surprise a lot of people when they see you in your domination role.
Oh, yeah.
Do you, you know, do you continue to work for Kink even still, where you don't have to actually be having sex? Do you know, how often do you work for Kink, or is it still something you don't work with them anymore?
Well, no, I don't work. I would love to work with Kink again. I don't work with them anymore, but I do have my slaves that I do sessions with that keeps me abroad and that I love.
Oh, no doubt.
You love your slaves.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so, like you do everything where, like, I mean, physical, you know, whatever these guys like as far as being dominated.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And it's a skill set you've been. You know, is it? Do you find yourself going to a certain place to bring that out, or is it just it just comes right out with no problem?
It just comes right out with problem. But what I do want, because there's a lot of techniques that I don't know, because remember, I learned this on camera.
Okay.
I learned this, you know, from Kink, from Madeline, from you know. From there is where I really learned and really got into it, and I was like, oh my God, I love this. I did it before with other companies and stuff like that, and I just have that. I'm a tall woman, so I have that very intimidating presence, and you know, I'm very aggressive and demanding anyway. But it was a lot of things that she showed me, but it's more things that I will want to learn too. You know, just about that whole culture. You know, when it comes to dominating, because there's different ways that you can dominate, not only just with the the whipping of the whips or whatever. You can do certain things. I have one that I just sensual. I stand there in like a lingerie, and he's tied there, and he just looking at me, and he can't touch me. So when you can do that, and you come right here to his face, and he can't, his face right here at your boobs, and you just dare him, don't breathe.
Wow.
Do not breathe.
You don't even you don't allow him to receive your essence even.
And that's a bigger
deny
turn
him
on
your
than
essence.
anything. You understand?
That's
what I'm saying?
so
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I would love to be denied your essence from that close. You know what I'm saying?
But
You're like, I'd rather have that essence, but
Yeah, I'd rather have it all over my face, but I mean,
Right. So what I do now do custom videos.
Okay.
And I have fun doing a lot of custom videos. A lot of my the slaves out there, even ones that overseas, they, Dom, I had this one, which is crazy. I want to, quickly with this, a race type of thing that he used to be with the KKK, and he got caught by the Panthers.
yeah.
And so they were hanging him naked. This is they were hanging him naked.
Is this his
upside down.
fantasy?
This is fantasy. And
Okay.
so I'm supposed to, tell him, things in his last 5 minutes of what, and I'm not real big on the calling people out their name racial or anything like this. So I put on a big Angela Afro wig.
Yeah, big Angela Davis.
Yeah, Angela Davis Afro wig. And I just went to town with it, but I wasn't calling him out of his name. It was just like the way that I chastised him in that moment.
Yes.
It was just like, he was like, oh my God, it turned me on so much, and you didn't do what I asked you to do, but just because you were belittling me and telling me, how dare you, write into me and tell me this, I am your goddess. Never once would I talk about racism. Never once. And you should be
I love you. He's like, yeah.
All right. And on that note,
That's what I wanted.
we're
and
going
I
to get
didn't
out of
even know
here
it.
on that high note, because Naomi just told this man, bitch, better have my money. I gave you what you wanted.
Yep.
All right, before we get out of here tonight, Naomi, real quick, social media, where can people continue to follow you?
At Naomi Banks, that's NYOMIBAN XXX. And also at chocolateradio.net and chocolateradio.theliveshow.com.
Now, quickly, is it Chocolate Radio 2 or chocolateradio.net?
Chocolateradio.net is the website.
Okay.
Okay, Chocolate Radio 2 is Twitter.
Okay.
And then Chocolate Radio Live Show and that's just my show.
Okay.
And then my website.
All right.
That's it. Yeah.
And Allison, where can we find you again?
I'm on Twitter, Allison Moore XXX, and the Allison Moore for Instagram, something like
doubt.
that.
For all the good, for all the good people here on the Lex Live Show, we want to thank you for joining us this evening. I am your man Lex Steele at Lex Steele 11. We'll see you next week. Peace and hair grease. Naomi Banks. Peace.
You're listening to Lexington Steele Live, right here on LA Talk Radio.